So for people like me that have been waiting for Pikmin 4 for, I don't know, 10 years nearly, yesterday we got our first big, juicy, meaty, grandiose look at the freaking game, and there is a lot of details in that trailer that might have went by you, might have been presented to you. Is that going to be in the video? Let's find out, because I'm going to try my best to break down a lot of little details that was in that Pikmin 4 trailer as somebody that has this as their most anticipated game of the year. Not since Kingdom Hearts 3 have I done a video like this where I'm actually going to be breaking down certain things frame by frame. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this house in the background. And you got your little baby birdo, burrio things that forget their names, but it's been a long time, okay? Leave me alone. But this house in the background, you're going to see another house in a moment, and we got this from the teaser trailer. This seems to be in a full-blown neighborhood, because you're going to see it in the later on shot, but there is other houses in this trailer. It makes it seem like, okay, we're going to be going through a neighborhood potentially, or maybe it's just from this one backyard. I certainly hope not. And as we continue on this trailer, we're going to see the onion is back. And it is just the one onion, continuing it like how they did in Pikmin 3. And that's going to have to be how it goes, because I don't know if you saw, but there's box art potentially confirming that every previous Pikmin is coming back. We can't have 7 onions. And I do hope at some point we get to see like those previous Pikmin, because man, if that was in the trailer, I would have been freaking crying. But this is a moment to kind of talk about this lower camera angle. This is a very big thing, a big change for the Pikmin community, because, or just Pikmin in general. Because we're so used to it being over top feeling, looking kind of down on the player and the Pikmin, and because of that, we're a bit more distant, but this gameplay mechanic feels super, way more intimate than other Pikmin. It's almost like it's a third-person action-adventure strategy game now. It's not something that you'd probably missed. I passed this shot, but look, it's another house. And this is a new mechanic, the turnip pole mechanic, which I don't think it's, like, you know, a big hype thing, but just, you know, seeing Pikmin pick something, pluck something is kind of ironic. But one of the bigger notes to talk about is this climbable wall. Now, I'm not bringing it up because like, oh, it's a climbable wall. Notice how it turns into a climbable wall. It starts off as just the stone wall at first, but then it turns into a climbable wall. What I want to know is how it turned into that wall. What did you have to do to make that happen? So that's something that we didn't get to see, and I'm very curious as to what would change it to that. Then we have an evil baboon mouth creature here. I don't know what that is, but I'm not happy about it. I mean, he scares me. The return of treasure. This binoculars, like at first I'm like, okay, is that a part? But then nope. New treasure collected. There's a lot in this trailer that is making us realize that Pikmin 2 might have been the best Pikmin. And treasure coming back is one of those things. So treasure is confirmed to be a part. We're not looking for fruit for sustainability. We're not repairing our aircraft. Maybe we are, but treasure is at least a part of it. Like Pikmin 2 had treasure that you just collected and could build your currency, income, whatever. Now we have our new boy here, the Ice Pikmin. Now everybody's gonna be talking about this because this and the doggo are for sure the most noticeable things. But did you notice that when this Bulbasaur or whatever, not Bulbasaur, Bulbix, when this Bulbor died, he left behind some nectar first off, and he's gone. Like, he just died. You can't carry this back to the ship. He just got shattered into a bunch of pieces. So you straight up can murder fools into ice pieces. That might be a bit of a risk versus reward mechanic, because if he froze when he ate the ice one, you might have that as a way of taking down big creatures, but is it worth it if you're not going to get the population or carrying back its body? There's some neat dynamic decision making that this trailer introduced that, if you think about it, you didn't think about it when you looked at it, but when you really look at it. Like the Ice Pikmin here freezing the pond. That's such a cool potential traversal mechanic. And the question is, like, how many does it take to freeze that pond? Will it go faster the more Ice Pikmin you throw at it? I don't know. It's just a super cool new thing that's like, okay, maybe we freeze the pond and we can throw like yellow Pikmin up top here. It's just freaking cool. But then we meet the dog, the Puppo. I'm going to call him the Puppo, who essentially takes the place of a second new Pikmin coming up, unless they're hiding it from that box art. But yeah, the 2 new Pikmin is the Ice Pikmin and, let me look at the name here. Ochi? I'm sticking with Puppo. I just want to point out this background shot. This is a really open plain in the background. Like, it's not huge, but in terms of Pikmin, that's just a very big open space with a lot of enemies. Charge mechanic from the doggo that you could probably hold and charge. But the bigger thing that's kind of interesting is the mechanics that this guy has. That yes, he can charge through broken barriers like you saw, but he counts as 10 Pikmin carrying stuff. But the bigger thing is that Pikmin and you can hop on this dude as you go through freaking water and other places. Like, look how many Pikmin jumped on him. It's like around 30, it looks like. That's a lot. And there's another mechanic later on that kind of has me questioning how this doggo might really be the way to travel, and that's a little bit intimidating. I don't want him to be the way to travel, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. If you're enjoying the video so far, let me know by liking or commenting, because I'd love to chat with you guys in those comments. And man, Pikmin 4. Also, I didn't point this out earlier, but we have 4 captains now. 4. And we only get to learn 2 of their names. There's Shepard and Colin over here. We don't know the names of these 2 yet, and the entire demo kind of focuses on this girl. More thoughts on that later. But here's the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the moment. Caves. Caves have made their freaking return. Again, just a lot of stuff in this is from Pikmin 2. There's an enemy type that's come back from Pikmin 2, and the treasures are come back from Pikmin 2. Pikmin from Pikmin 2 are coming back. So caves coming back is going to be an interesting mechanic, especially with the nighttime element that comes up later on in the trailer. But something right here, they found a castaway, which is an entirely new element to the games, and it looks like the dog can find the castaways too by smelling them out. But yeah, I guess we just find other, gonna call them astro troopers or whatever, that might be in these caves or maybe in other parts of the map that eventually the doggo can sniff out. Or is this just like part of the story? Is that like a side thing, or is it part of the story? Who knows? Now we have a disco light version of the long legs that comes up here, but the bigger thing that I want to point to is, yes, cool, long legs are back. What's this 01 in the background? What do you even... Ooh, maybe that means like floor 1, but usually you would just get that on the UI telling you that you're on floor 1 or something like that. So it's a little bit weird that there's a digital clock on the floor here. Part of me almost wonders, is this a boss rush mode? Is it like this is round 1 and then you're working your way through? It's probably not, but if it was, ooh. There's also something glowing on the right side of it that kind of blinks now and then, so I don't know what that's about. I'm just now seeing this. Wait a minute. Are those Pikmin dancing? I'm just now seeing this. Look at the Pikmin dancing. Like, what's the purple? What is that purple about? And yes, the return of the Empress Bulbax, and she is rolling over her children like no freaking tomorrow. But something bigger here, if you catch it. You had a lot of Pikmin there that walked in the shot, and now they're all on the doggo's back. And the captain is throwing the Pikmin off the doggo's back. This is what concerns me about that. If you're able to just go across water with the dog, if you're able to just run around faster with the dog, if you're able to even throw your Pikmin off the back of the dog while you're elevated, then what's going to be the point of ever going around on foot anymore? You know, it's one of those things where it's like at the beginning of the game, they hand you some legendary sword and it's like, cool. Why would I ever need to synthesize another sword anymore when I have this one? It kind of just either breaks the game or makes it seem like we are always should being on puppers here. Now, as we're leaving the cave, we have a shot that's very, that's going to lead into probably the biggest part of this trailer. We have a captain and puppers leaving together. And it's the main captain too, the one that this whole trailer is focused on. But then we have the other 3 just watching them go and even freaking saluting down there. So, what? Now, this might be because of the nighttime mode, but really, look at this big boy ship here. That's obviously where the 3 captains are going to be hanging out, or maybe you could choose. Maybe you could choose which 3 captains do you leave behind. And then we go into the probably big reveal of this trailer. That's a very different mechanic from all 3 previous games, leaving somebody behind that isn't your accidental Pikmins that are gonna die. Like, is it an optional thing, or is it a risk versus reward? Because now, nighttime. Nighttime mode is a feature that a lot of fans have always kind of wanted, but it looks like it's finally coming to this game where it's probably going to be very intense and maybe a risk versus reward situation. You see all these crystals on the ground that are probably, you know, because treasure is back, maybe these crystals are a super duper like valuable currency. So maybe that's a thing. And you can only get them at nighttime, hence the risk versus reward situation. I don't know, man. And then, aggro Mr. Bulbo here, which is just a given, because nighttime is when these guys get really aggressive. We don't see that many enemies, though. That's the thing. We don't see, it seems very quiet other than this guy. But maybe that's just because it's that's how they want to reveal the environment. They don't want it to look busy. But nighttime is when a lot of monsters freaking came out in the original games. So I don't know, maybe they toned that down to instead just make the monsters stronger instead of having more of them out. Because if they came out like they do in Pikmin's 1 through 3 at nighttime, we'd be dead. Finally, the date, July 21st, 2023. An interesting thing about this date, it is a week off from being exactly 10 years to the day of being when Pikmin 3 was released. Reminding us that it is freaking 10 years since Pikmin 3. The main things we didn't see in this trailer is if that box art is indeed confirming that white and purple, rock and pink Pikmin are coming back. Like, we didn't see that in the gameplay, but that was on this piece of box art that is like, holy guacamole. I legit kind of got emotional to that when I saw that after the stream. We also did not get to see very much at all of how the other captains play or how they kind of help you multitasking. There was an E3 trailer for Pikmin 3 way back in the day and, before some of us were even alive. And that trailer started off just focusing on one captain too, but like eventually they got into how the other captains play and how you can make them pluck things when you throw them up at a higher spot. So that's one thing we didn't get to see in this trailer that I hope we eventually see. We also didn't get to see other environments besides this backyard neighborhood situation. So, but that's probably just, play the game to find out. And there's no weird gimmicks like the tablet for the Wii U, which is totally fine. And if you're watching this video, Pikmin 4 might be one of your most anticipated games of the year, but my community here decided what are our collectively most anticipated games. So check out this video if you want to know more about these really hype games coming up this year, and make sure you subscribe if you want to be geek proud awesome and have some more fun upcoming game speculation.